confirmation hearings start Wednesday for Robert F. Kennedy Jr., the president's nominee to lead the Department of Health and Human Services. And keeping a close eye on that and other confirmation hearings is Sam Brodey from our Washington Bureau. Sam, thanks so much for joining us again.
Yeah, good to be here.
So look, HHS, the scope of this job is just enormous, impacts everyone in one way or the other. Remind us exactly what falls under the umbrella of HHS.
Yeah, it's a massive agency that is responsible for a huge chunk of the federal government spending. That is largely because HHS is responsible for running Medicare and Medicaid, the two biggest health insurance programs in the government. It also runs the Affordable Care Act, a number of other health coverage programs. And then beyond that, under HHS is the Food and Drug Administration, which approves the safety of food, drugs, medicines, things like that. The Centers for Disease Control. And the National Institutes of Health. So it is just a behemoth in terms of health coverage, health research. Every time you go to the store, every time you go to the doctor, those interactions are absolutely governed and overseen by the Department of Health and Human Services.
And it's those last few elements here that have made this controversial pick so controversial with RFK. Of course, he has a famous last name. He also has controversial views on vaccines. He has a worm in his brain. Yes, we found out. But how confident is the administration on the fact that he would get confirmed, or are they nervous?
The administration has expressed confidence. I think on Capitol Hill, it has been a little more circumspect from Republican leaders that RFK Jr. is going to be able to overcome all these controversies and get a majority of votes. Now he just needs Republicans really to get this job because of their 53-seat Senate majority and, of course, their tie-breaking power. It is expected that all Democrats will vote against him, but that's not assured. There may be a couple who consider. But, there are plenty of skeptics on the Republican side to watch here. And I think one lawmaker in particular who could play a big role is Senator Bill Cassidy, Republican of Louisiana, who himself is a pretty accomplished physician. He has expressed some unease and discomfort with RFK Jr.'s views on vaccines. He noted that they talked about that in the private meeting that they had. Cassidy, of course, is the chairman of the Senate Health Committee, which holds its hearing, the second of two hearings on RFK Jr.'s nomination on Thursday.
Well, look, we saw what happened on Friday night, I think it was, with Pete Hegseth, a tie-breaking vote from the vice president to put him over the top. And the story was entirely about Republicans. When enough Republicans back him, because Republicans have the majority in the Senate. This time around, and as you've been reporting, there are some Democrats to watch who might actually vote for him. Who and why?
Yeah, and I should stress that this remains unlikely, but Democrats are not all currently in lockstep already in opposition to RFK Jr. in the same way that they were with Pete Hegseth's nomination. So Senator Sheldon Whitehouse, a Democrat of Rhode Island, is actually an old friend of Kennedy's. They went to law school together at the University of Virginia, and they remained close over the years. Whitehouse has not said how he will vote on RFK Jr.'s nomination. He has not been as vocal as his colleagues in, drawing attention to Kennedy's views, which many Democrats find extremely troubling on vaccines and other things. There's been some rumors that he might be considering a vote for RFK Jr., but he's been publicly circumspect about it. So he's the main one to watch. But even senators like Senator Bernie Sanders, who Kennedy has known over the years, have been pretty skeptical of his views. So, John Fetterman of Pennsylvania is another one to watch, who's kind of has this maverick quality that has emerged here in the Senate. So there are a few to potentially watch, but I think most would be surprised if one or certainly more than one Democrat decides to vote for RFK Jr.
Well, it's something we'll be watching all week. Reporter Sam Brodey from our Washington Bureau, thank you for joining us.
Thank you.
For daily access to Boston Globe Today, all segments and episodes are available on demand in the Boston Globe app by clicking Watch.